them come. This is their fate.
All right. Welcome back to the House of Wolves podcast. I am your host, Deontay, with my friends Jalen and Josh, and we got a few topics for you guys today. As usual, we're going to be talking about focused on mostly on gaming. This is a gaming podcast that comes out bi-weekly. We have this on the airwaves where you can find your local podcast, and then we also have it on my YouTube channel at BCD Universe. Again, that's BCD Universe. So if you want to check that out on the video one, that's where you can find that as well. But the topics that we had today, before we get started, it's the Monster Hunter. We're going to be talking about Monster Hunter and Rise and how we kind of had our time to play it and get a better. Yes, I did cave and buy it. At first, it was only Josh, but now I also have a copy, and Jalen has a copy. So that means that's another game we're going to actually play together. PS5 update. They actually got some external storage stuff there. We're going to be talking about 60 FPS versus 4K and possibly some televisions recommendations to go along with that. But, before we jump into it, as usual, how my guys doing? How you guys week? Know we just came back from that nice little vacation weekend getaway.
Man, I thought you weren't finna ask us how we was doing. I'm like, man, talk about being a true friend. I'm like, dang, you seen this in Chicago. I'm like, bump how they feel, and I know they good.
Nah,
I'm smooth, man. Almost done my first year of PA school. I got a couple more weeks. I'm feeling excited. I had like 2 weeks off. I'm like, boy, I can't wait. So, but yeah, man, and like I said, y'all came to Chicago. I was like, y'all my boys, man. I'm glad y'all came up here. I was happy to see y'all. I'm like, man, it's too quick, short-lived. But I mean, it's always next time. So
we took a few L's, but it was still cool.
Man, you can't go see the view of Chicago in the morning time, man. Some people weren't going for that.
Man, yeah, I got L's at that Chicago 360. Zero visibility. And I got rained on my little boat trip, but I had fun. What about you, Josh?
Yeah, it's been a good week. I guess last 2 weeks we enjoyed that trip out to Chicago. It was a busy weekend. The weather wasn't great, but it was good to see y'all, get to hang out. Now that vaccines are rolling out and it's a lot easier to start planning trips. Hopefully, travel more.
Oh yeah, man.
As for me, I'm really just trying to finish up this semester strong. I'm going to enjoy my summer break because I ain't been in school in a while, so I feel like I don't have time for anything where that wasn't an issue before.
Yeah.
Because I haven't even been playing the game that much. Hop on Apex for a couple matches, and then that's my whole day. It's like homework.
Yeah. Hey man, that stuff be rough. I don't miss it. I can tell you that I don't miss it. I mean, it's just as bad as having a full-time job, I guess, because a full-time job with a salary and not hourly, forget about it. They try to take your soul, man. But
forget about it.
Forget.
Hey, they be having your school, man. You be in there, they give you that assignment, like, yeah, Shane. So look, here's what we're gonna do. Here's what we're gonna do. They give you that homework. You be in that mug sad. I be like, dang, y'all really finna mess up my weekend, huh? Shane, yeah.
Exactly. So, but yeah. Stick in there. Y'all keep y'all heads up like y'all nose bleeding, as my friend Quasi would say. But yeah, it's been good. I mean, I really enjoyed seeing you guys as well, hanging out, chilling, exploring Chicago, because I think that's the third time I've been there, but I ain't really sat down for a weekend there. I just come in and out, shopping and leave. So it was really nice to just explore Chicago and kind of walk around and see what the city was all about. I'm really into the architect stuff, so the boat trip, the the architectural tour was a delight for me, even though it
Man,
rained.
you got lost in Warwacker Drive, man. That's like them like the depths.
Bro, I was trying to get some Chick-fil-A. I got so heated because Karina was like, she talked about some because I didn't turn on the voice is why I got lost. I'm like, girl, this place is all types of L's. I'm looking like they ain't even showing me the right place to go in the GPS. So stop it with that whole, I should have turned the voice on and I would have known. Because even when I turned the voice on, I was trying to leave. Girl had me on the wrong place. So I'm like, man, this is all bad. So I'm out of here. I set that mug to set me home. Karina ain't eat for another hour and a half. She was mad in the mud. But I was like, hey, you ain't getting no Chick-fil-A breakfast today.
Man.
But we got out of there.
On the stasis.
That mug definitely put me someone gave me some pet thralls, man. I don't know. I got kidnapped in that whacker. That junk was whack. I ain't gonna hold you. I was kind of mad about that one.
Yeah, you gotta pay them strange coins to get out of
there. Yeah, Zer, man. Zer the 9. I think that was pretty much all the eventful things that happened. I played a lot of Apex, got some W's as usual. And yeah, I mean that's pretty much been my week. Going back to work, great time, but you know, work is work, and we gotta do it to pay the bills. So that's what that was. But what our first topic was, what was the first topic? Because now I don't remember. Oh, it was the PS5 update. That's the one I wanted to talk about. So the PS5 recently got their first update, like their first real big update. And this update was for expansion of the storage. They got it in like a 120 hertz toggle now, so you can actually turn it on and off within the menu. There were some HDR fixes for the menu as well, and how they map and tone map that. It was a lot of things that were like minor that kind of added up to a big thing. But the biggest one, honestly, was the expansion for the able to store your PS5 games. You can't play them, but you can store them on external hard drives. So that way, it kind of gives you the opportunity of not having to always kind of re-download everything. Kind of the same way the Xbox Series X has had it since launch. But this is a good thing for them to actually have now, because it makes it a lot easier for you to manage your games, especially when it comes with only 667 something gigabytes. So it's not much internal. So it was a really bad situation going on over there until this came about. But doesn't really help, doesn't really expand your internal storage. They still haven't updated the slot, the NVMe slot, so you still can't expand your storage and keep everything internal. You still have to deal with that, but at least now you can move games over. I know Digital Foundry just did a test on how fast and everything goes, so you can check that out if you want more information about how quickly you can move items from your internal to the expandable storage via SSD or hard drive, whatever you may have, and then moving it back. So the copy and write speeds, they have a lot of tests for that. I've used it already. I put some games on my thing. It was very simple. I already had an SSD placed in it with my PS4 games. So it's not bad. It's already been updated. There's nothing really much you have to do to kind of get it to work. So that's the good thing about it. But I kind of wanted to pose the question to myself and as well as the group, is whether or not that was enough. I mean, it was a big update. They did a lot of changes. They did a lot of updates. They did a lot of things right. But I don't really know. I feel like for some reason the PS5 is just not the console I want to use on the day-to-day. It's probably simply because they don't have the games yet. Once they have the games, it kind of feels the same way it was when I first started playing the PlayStation 4. I had Destiny and Destiny. That was it. I didn't really play anything else. I think once Horizon came out, that was the first game I started playing. but it was like a dry spell. I think this is the dry spell until the game start, dropping consistently. But I don't know about this. The technology is kind of what I want to focus on right now. So gaming aside, games aside, let's talk about that technology.
I think that at least with the PlayStation 4, Sony is always very slow with like big updates that change a lot of stuff, whereas Microsoft is always, it's just mostly software-based company. They're always quicker with those updates. But I don't know. I think that it's good that they finally have the SSD storage because with the storage situation on the PS5 already, it's really scarce. So a lot of people, especially like if you have a lot of games, you're not gonna have enough storage for like 3-4 games because they're all so big. But I feel like the reason why they took that time is because they know there's not a lot right now to even PS5, PS5 only games or PS5 updated games to even have to worry about the storage. So now it's finally there. That's good. It's kind of hard to praise it because it kind of should have been there from the beginning.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, but I think that overall, from what impressions I've seen, the PS5 overall has a lot of software issues that need to be addressed. The sooner they fix it, the better. But at this point, I kind of think of it as like Cyberpunk, where there are a lot of issues. They're fixing it slowly, but call me back when it's all ready to go.
Yeah, I think that's kind of the same with me. I think there's a lot of weird things that happen when I start playing the console constantly. Like the notification system is terrible. How you start parties is terrible. A lot of stuff that I just don't like about the console in general. Kind of steers his head up when it kind of builds up to add stuff that I don't like. And I'm not saying that it's a bad console in any way or shape or form. I'm saying that the software there right now seems to have been poorly implemented, and they need these updates to kind of make it feel like a next gen console.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of little small hiccups to still be seen. So in my opinion, and this is just my opinion, y'all ain't gotta kill me for it, but I think that right now the PS5 is still in a state where you don't necessarily need to. I think both of them you don't need to buy them. To be honest, Jalen, I still don't want you to think that way. You still need to buy it, but
man, how you
both of them.
Tell me something.
It was something actually interesting. I just remembered about that because y'all know how the PlayStation 3 store and stuff is closing soon. Sony's about to close all that stuff out. Basically, when that was announced, it was some people, who work at Sony or whatever, or got some information, started talking about why they want to close the stores, and it was like it has to do with piracy because like the video is hacked, the PlayStation 3 is hacked, so Sony just doesn't want that, hackers having access to their systems, so they like rewrite all of their software every generation so that they can have a clean like slate, so completely away from hackers. They can update security and stuff. So with the PlayStation 5, like it has features that are missing, that seem like it should be standard, but that's because they're starting fresh, and I don't know why they have to do that. But Microsoft, they kept the exact same software from the Xbox One.
Are they hacked?
The PS4 or
no,
Xbox?
the Xbox. Like
I don't think the Xbox I mean, possibly, but they like literally require you to sign in most of the time to even play a game.
Right. Gotcha.
Yeah, and when you like turn the console on, like it tries to check for stuff. I forget what I was trying to play, and it wouldn't let me play it because I wasn't connected to the internet.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that kind of makes sense then. It's like that makes sense, I suppose. I don't like it. I feel like I was a waste of my time to kind of relearn stuff and like
Yeah.
how stuff works. But I feel like as long as they keep the familiarity, if I said that word right, to the same, and I'm able to kind of understand how this work versus how this work, and it's kind of in the same spots. I think it'll be fine. The PlayStation 5 is just totally different from the PS4, and I don't like it. I mean, I liked the PS3 to PS4, and I like the Vita from the PSP because everything it felt the same. PS Vita was the most out of the way type of one, but at least I got familiar with it over time. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna get familiar with the PS5 over time. I just don't like how they incorporated certain things, like the party chat. The party chat was nothing wrong with it before. Now it feels like I don't even want to try it because instead of them just letting you create a party, you now have to create a party with a friend, and you also have to. They keep a running list of all the parties you created, and they say you want to quick do this party. So now you have to scroll through a bunch of stuff that you don't necessarily want to do. Like say for instance, we're constantly in the same party. That's fine. Keep that one there. I guess you can save a party. But the fact that they keep it on every one that someone has created or someone else has created in your friends list, I think is rather stupid. So I think they just need to figure out the party chat and how that works. I don't like how it works. And some other like small quirks, the settings menu, how the notifications pop up, the notifications for, how the gameplay is not being recorded and how it has been recorded. All of that stuff is very irritating when you're just trying to play a game. And I just wish that sometimes some of that stuff could be turned off. And if it can be, I have not to be seen. I have not to see where that stuff at. But yeah, that's kind of how I feel about that PS5 update. I think it's great. I think that they did. They're going down the right path. I still don't think it's enough to say go out and buy a PS5 because they don't have much to play on it. Miles Morales came and went. Demon Souls came and went. And if you haven't played it by now, you really don't need to play it anyway. You could just wait. So they need more games, more interesting games that's going to sustain their console from the time being. And a lot of games that they're going to be coming out with are also going to be coming to the PS4 Pro. So it's really hard sell for me to say PS5 is worth it. Versus on the Xbox Series X, because it feels like a hardware upgrade, it's more easy to sell. Just sell it and say, hey man, you're going to get Game Pass, you're going to get better, features on it. You're going to be able to play all your old games with better graphics. You don't have to buy another controller. You can use your old controllers if you want to. It's such an easier sale to somebody that's, conscious about how they spend their money versus someone that's like, I want the PS5 because that's where I play all my games. And that's great. You can do it on there, but you're only going to have this amount of storage to play your new PS5 games. Anything that has an upgrade to it, it's going to eat up that storage. Now that you can put it on externals, that's better. But at the same time, you have no expandable. Yes, Microsoft charges you an arm and a leg, but at least they try to give you those options up front and not try to, minimize your experience for the time being. So it's a lot to think about, I would say. But the PS5 update, that's pretty much it in a nutshell. How do you guys feel, I guess, about those generational changes and how that kind of shifts the way stuff looks? And like, did you guys even enjoy that PS3 to PS4 changeover when it first happened, or how did you guys feel about that when it first started, or do you not even care?
I felt like it was a drought, like when the PS4 first came out. I remember there's a lot of games they kept just making like definitive versions of the game. Like they had Tomb Raider that came out again. They had The Last of Us that they still wanted an arm and a leg for. That is that what you? Am I answering your question?
Yeah, it's kind of like, did they deliver in a way where it felt the PS4 was going to become the machine that was worthy of the title of PS4? Because at first it didn't seem that way, but as soon as it started, it didn't come out the gate swinging. But obviously it became something great by the end of it, right? So when it first came out, and you had all those changes that was made to it, did it really hinder your experience, or did you like all from the beginning you knew that the PS4 was going to be the one that you kept throughout the years? Because I always thought the PS4 was going to be side, Xbox was going to be the primary. But that definitely changed because of certain situations that occurred and the more games that came out, exclusive things that came out on the PlayStation.
Yeah, I never. I mean, I guess like when I got the PS4, I felt like, I mean, mind you, that came out in 2013. I was in my second year of school. I didn't have like much money and stuff. That's when I used to go to GameStop a lot more and have like I was kind of all in with it. I mean, I remember first pre-ordering a PS4 when they said they don't allow in pre-orders. I'm like, this is gonna be the machine. I'm gonna potentially get rid of my PS3. I ain't gonna really need it no more, I guess, even though it was no backwards compatibility. But I just felt like that was gonna be the go-to machine, and I
Right.
remember comparing it to Xbox and stuff. I
So
don't
you
think they
did
came
that
out the game.
research first before you bought.
Yeah, but I mean, then I kind of got to a point where I was like, the research don't even matter. I mean, a PS3 is stronger than the Xbox 360, but the Xbox 360 is a better system. So like, is a better experience, I should say, not the better system. Yeah. So, yeah, man, I
Do
don't
you
know. I
think?
really felt like that with my bad. What?
No, no. Go ahead. Finish your thought.
Yeah, I don't really, as far as like with the PS4, I mean the PS5 and the Xbox and stuff like that. I think it's kind of weird because they want a lot of money. I mean, like we in a pandemic and stuff like that. I don't know if that's like hindering production of games. It seems like a lot of games keep getting pushed back. Um, so I don't know if the PS5 and the Xbox came out to the capacity that they had wanted it to be, but it seemed like it's a redo of what was going on the last generation, like back in 2013. Like it wasn't no reason to have a PS4 because what you gonna do? Play Tomb Raider on there? That already came out on the 360 and a PS3. So
Yeah.
I mean, it kind of got pushed to the wayside a little bit. But when Infamous Second Son came out in March, I was like, oh, it's a game I can play on my PS4, and I kind of felt like I was forcing myself to buy games that I didn't care too much about just because I wanted to play my PS4 when they had Dark Souls 2 coming out on the 360 and the PS3. I'm like, man, I'm finna go play that. Like,
Yeah.
it's not on the next console and stuff like that. So my Xbox stuck around for a long time, my 360, but um and that's why I'm so reluctant to buy a new console right now because I'm like, for what? Like, I don't need it right now. They probably gonna come out with a PS5 Pro or Plus or X, you know what I'm saying? And it's gonna have more storage or something, or it's gonna run better. They're gonna get out little kinks and stuff like that. Like they do it all the time. So I don't know if I'm gonna get it, because I might get a PS5 before then or Xbox before then, but I ain't got the time and they ain't got the games for me to play it. Basically, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um.
Yeah. I
I
feel
was
like
going to go into. Oh, go ahead. I was finna
I
go
was
into
just gonna say that I
hypothetical
think
land.
the PS4 launch was worse in my opinion because um at
So
that point like
backwards.
I had a bunch of yeah, one like the backwards compatibility situation where like none of your PlayStation Network games transfer even though they're all digital and stuff like that. So it was a stupid situation where none of your old stuff transferred and they had you rebuying games or games that are like more expensive. Like if you want to play not more expensive. What was it like Call of Duty Ghosts?
Mm-hmm.
Whereas like, was it more expensive? I don't even remember back then. But it was like
I
some
don't think
games
so. I think they were all the same, but I remember it being like,
they had upgrade versions, whereas like you buy it
yeah,
on the PS3 and pay $10-20 more to get on PS4 or something like that. And it was just a dumb situation where it's like these games could run on the system, but y'all decided not to do it, and so y'all
because
want
they
us to
didn't look
rebuy
no
it.
better. Right.
Yeah, and so I felt like it was a worse situation. For me, like we played Destiny, and if it wasn't for Destiny, I wasn't gonna get a PS4 because didn't plan on getting it. It wasn't until like Bloodborne I felt like it was worth it, and that came out like a year and a half or two after launch.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, eventually it got there, but I feel like for Sony, it's always the same thing where it's like you don't keep your games. Where it's not the same situation with PS4, but still, I feel like a step back as far as like the features and things like that. With the new
Yeah.
system, and then they gotta build back up. Whereas the Xbox, I know a lot of people complain that the UI and stuff wasn't new and stuff like that, but I didn't feel like I lost anything. It felt like we in
Continuation.
the same ecosystem. I got all my same stuff. It's not confusing. Like I put in Assassin's Creed, and it's the next gen version, or the best version. Versus
Yeah, it
PlayStation 5,
automatically
you
does.
gotta re-download the game like 2 times trying to get the right version.
Yeah,
And
man.
all I want to do is just play a PS5 game. Why is it so hard to play a PS5?
Because of the way they kind of structured it, and you're right. It's absolutely right. Like the whole, um, even the whole, I forget what they call it now, but it's like the smart delivery. That stuff is important because it just makes it simple for you to just play your games and get into the games and enjoy it. You don't have to deal with all the minutia of changing stuff around and trying to figure stuff out. So I really enjoy, and again, I would, if I had to choose one, it's going to be the Series X. If say for instance God of War was out right now, and I had to choose, it would be the PlayStation because regardless of how much I enjoyed the Series X, I know I'm going to enjoy that game a lot more than I'm gonna play
Yeah,
on anything on
Sony's
here.
always got the better games, and that's why they're successful. But they're not. Their software has always been garbage, like
Yeah,
system software.
yeah, and I think that's the whole situation I'm getting at. But I was gonna ask a hypothetical about Game Pass and stuff like that. Um, Hypothetically speaking, if the Xbox One came out with Game Pass originally, and it was like something that was baked into the system at the beginning, would that be enough to get people to like? I don't know because there's nothing that was really on it, but there's games that obviously now are coming out that was kind of the same thing. No acquisitions, no nothing, just Game Pass. Would that be? I'm trying to think of that time. During that time, I was very broke. During that time, I was trying to buy stuff on a budget, and during that time, I still ended up getting both. Um, I bought the Xbox first because of the 360 generation. I just really liked it, even though I didn't have any backwards
Um,
compatibility and nothing. I'm trying to think if that Game Pass was
Honestly,
there.
I would say probably not,
Yeah.
because I like the 360 better the whole generation. The only reason I switched over is because my 360 died. But I feel like overall the 360 was a better console. It had really good games, even
Mm-hmm.
with the PS3 exclusives. But the issue was Microsoft had all these plans, like we always online, but you can share your games with your families, and they were talking about doing like what was it, like used licenses, so you can like trade digital games or stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So like they were thinking about that sort of stuff, but like back then, honestly, I wasn't for it. Like I didn't like the idea of always having to have a Xbox Live subscription, or you don't have access to your stuff, and you got to check in online every day in order to
Mm-hmm.
have access to your games. That stuff is like more common now, but like back then, probably wouldn't have went for it because I was like Jalen said, going to GameStop. I buy Call of Duty right now, play it for a couple months, sell it, get something new. Like that was what I was doing in order to play games. I wasn't about to have a $15 month subscription in order to play Call of Duty. You know,
Mm-hmm.
on top of Xbox Live and stuff. So I think that it might have caught on eventually, but I don't think it would have like popped off at the beginning of last generation.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so too, and that's why I was kind of trying to figure out if it's like if it would have made a difference because I was still conscious about like the money I was spending, but I think at that time I was more so just because I enjoyed my 360 so much that I was just going to go Team Xbox versus trying out the PlayStation because I had an Xbox for a very long time, and then I finally bought a PlayStation 3, played The Last of Us, and that's it. I didn't play any other game on there. I really started playing PS4 through PS3 games when the PS4 came out. So I was discovering so much more, and I was like playing things for the first time, like a lot of the Uncharted, and I was playing. I forget what other games they kind of had on that PlayStation 3. I know I bought Metal Gear, but I just didn't finish it. And there was other games that I bought, but the point of it is that I was kind of pushing myself to go Xbox, and I don't think it would have made a difference for me as a consumer, and I don't think anybody that was playing on the PlayStation 3 that went to the PS4 really understood that the PS4 was going to be the better situation. I think because of certain things, exclusives and things like that, that kind of caused people to gravitate towards that. Because at that end of that generation, the Xbox was up; they were winning. But the fact that the PS4 started coming out with better games and continuously did it, it was a cheaper console, and Xbox kind of fumbled the bag. So I don't think it would have made a difference. Game Pass wouldn't have made a difference. It was them actually making smart decisions really would have helped them in the long run, but they didn't. So, I think, yeah, it wouldn't have made a difference. My hypothetical has been, I think that would be the case, and then nobody would care.
I mean, yeah, I don't think,
It keeps cutting out.
but it didn't. You said what?
It cut out. I didn't hear the first part of it.
Oh, okay, my bad. No, I was just saying I didn't think Game Pass would make a difference. I don't remember when it was introduced. Me having a 360 and stuff like that, I didn't really care for Game Pass. I personally didn't really care too much for the 360. It was just that, like I said, I probably said this before in another podcast. 360 was $200 for the arcade version. Did the same exact thing as the Pro. You just didn't have like a hard drive or something like that. But you ain't need it like that, but you started to kind of need it because I think you still use like memory cards and stuff. But
Yeah.
I mean, like they had party chat, bro. Like I can't, and they had a more seamless multiplayer, like party chat multiplayer. That's when Call of Duty is popping, Modern Warfare 2 dropped, and at the end of 2009, I think. When the PS4 got the party chat, I was like, it ain't no reason to play the Xbox now. Like I don't. I knew all along the PS3 had the better games, but it was no reason to play the Xbox at that point. I was like, y'all keep making Gears of War, y'all keep making Halo. We've been playing that for the past couple generations. All right, that's cool, but I'm finna go play this other game because PlayStation is making new games. Like, I don't want to keep playing Halo. So basically, it wouldn't have made a difference.
Okay.
I still ain't got Game Pass.
Yeah. Nah. No, I think that's 100% the case. I think now it can make a difference in the person buying purchase because the Xbox has a cheaper console than the other one, and they also have the same priced console as the other. One's more technically on paper and more powerful than the other. So I think it can make a difference now because the scales are tipped a little bit in the Xbox favor, but I think the PlayStation 5, because of their goodwill they have earned last generation, they're still going to come out on top in regards to sales and things of that nature.
Yeah. I think that Microsoft still has their number one issue. They just got to change the perception that they're not coming out with
Good games.
new games. Game Pass is strong enough to keep them afloat, but I think in order to actually compete, start dropping a couple exclusives and getting people's attention, then people will actually see it as like a competitor.
Yeah, they have to stop. They have to stop pretending that they don't want. Like even so, I think right now, and this is going off topic, but I think PlayStation realizes that if they continue to go down the path of continuously keeping those expensive games exclusive to just their consoles is going to be really difficult. That's why there's a lot of PlayStation 5 PC exclusives, because they want people to still be able to play that game on different formats, and they want to earn that extra money. Microsoft has been doing that consistently for the last like 4 to 5 years, so they already got that bag. As long as they continue to make better games, it's going to start weakening the perception that you have to have this console to play these very, very cool games. Some of them are going to stay console exclusives where they don't have a PC port, but a lot of their games are going to start coming to PC because the individual at the top right now understands the dollar and understands the value in having it on multi-platforms. But in my humble opinion, I think it's going to make it weaker. I think it's going to make the console weaker, and I think it's going to make the purchase of that said console weaker, just like it's doing for Microsoft. Because Microsoft doesn't really have good games, it's fine right now. But imagine Halo, and which it is, Halo 5 and Halo and Infinite is going to be coming out on PC as well. If that was just exclusive to a console, they would sell a lot more Series S's and Xbox Series X's than they would if they kept it just exclusive to their consoles. So I think that's going to start hurting the PlayStation. I think more people are going to, start to understand that they don't really necessarily need one. But here's hoping that they both win, because that, in my opinion, is still the worst situation than not having them be exclusive. I think the worst situation is them to be exclusive to the consoles alone and not have a PC option. But I still think that's the worst business move that they can make, and that's just my opinion, though. But you brought up something, and I kind of wanted to explore it a little bit more. If we have time, I kind of wanted to ask about, because we were talking about GameStop, and all of us kind of have experience with GameStop. I want to ask about like some of the worst experiences that you guys had at GameStop, if time allows. 'Cause I know we still have to get to two other topics, but I still want.
I have one off top that I always remember, but it's not. I forget how old I was. It had to be like 2006, 2007. I went to GameStop. I had a couple games to trade, and I think I was gonna either buy Pokemon or I was trading Pokemon for something else. But I was trading like 3 things, and he was like, "Oh, you getting a lot of money here. You getting like $45, and you're gonna have some money left over." And he was like, "If you sign up," because I didn't have the membership. He was like, you can get your game, and if you sign up for the membership, you get the I forget what it was. You get the Game Informer and blah blah blah.
10%.
And 10%. I was like, oh yeah, okay. But he literally did not say, because the membership was like what, $15?
Yeah.
Yeah. He literally did not say he was gonna charge me for that. And so he knew that I didn't understand that I was gonna get the game, I was gonna get the membership, but I wasn't gonna get my $15. And so he just went ahead, rung it up, and said, "Here you go." And I didn't figure that out until later. It was like, hold up, I traded in $45, but I only got the game and no gift card and stuff. So,
Man, he finessed you, man. He had to meet his quota. Sucker. Right, what, 7th grade?
yeah, it'd been somewhere around there, like 6th, 7th grade. And you old enough to not, you out with your family. Oh, I want to run over to GameStop real quick. And, you just go there by yourself, buy a game, and get finessed.
Finesse. They finesse, and they be trying to push stuff on children. Oh, man.
Yeah. They slick.
Yeah, mine was, I had some ones when I was younger, but they was always kind of like, you got to go get your mama. And I be like, man, just let me buy the game. And then I had to force my mama because my mama hated coming into GameStop.
Man, I hate it.
She was like, oh my God, if I got to get out this card, I tell you, you're not getting it. And I was like, mama, you got to come in. So my situation was always convincing my mama to come in to buy my mature games, or T for teen. I'm like, I'm a teenager, but they wouldn't let me buy it or whatever. So I had mine's was. I mean, I had some stuff when I was older. I was finessing the mess out of them, and getting racks on racks on racks. You talking about talking about 2 Nintendo Switches or for money out them boys. But I'm talking when I was younger, and I ain't know no better. It was just more so, convincing my mama to come in and do that. So she hated going to GameStop because she knew I was gonna be in there for a minute trying to figure out the best game to buy for the little money that I had. So I love you, mama. Thank you for what you did, because you fueled a forever hobby for me. But yeah, that was probably my experiences.
I'm trying to think, what was the worst GameStop experience I had? Mine wasn't necessarily like within GameStop. It was kind of like the whole thing surrounding it. But I'd just say like I'm trying to think. It was old boy. I ain't gonna say his name, but it was the bald head dude, or the male pattern baldness dude. He used to just be on some trash. Anytime I seen him in GameStop, I said, "Dang man, it's this dude again, bro." I'm like, cause he was like a manager and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I seen him go up through his ranks. You feel me? Like when I was in 6th grade buying Pokemon Mystery Dungeon, he was at the GameStop on West Main. This like 2006 or something, like 2007. Now I catch this man and a GameStop over in, this 2013. He a manager. He trying to tell me about the PS4 and just be a know-it-all. This man in there now. So anytime he was there, my experience had a 70% chance of being bad because he just was a moron. But I think the time where GameStop kind of like irked me a little bit when Shorty, I ain't gonna say her name, we was running it up on GameStop, you know what I'm saying? Because GameStop been running it up on us for years. It's 2017 at the time, like July 2017. If y'all super familiar with GameStop, y'all know that was a blue moon because we was running it up. You feel me? But old girl was like, because we was doing buy 2, get 1 free. I bought like 9 games in there. And she was just like, oh, that's a lot of games. I'm like, yep. I was like, yeah, man, I'm trying to take advantage. Y'all got a good promotion, man. I appreciate y'all. You got to do what you do. You feel me? What Webby said, I'm doing what I do, what I'm doing, and I'm doing. You feel me? Then I came there the next day, bought 6 more games. She and that mug like, you buying more games. What you do with the last ones? I was just like, man, I got them. Like, she said, but you can't possibly play on them games. I'm looking like, Shorty, you work at GameStop. Like, stop questioning me. Stop serving justice, bro. Leave me alone. And I'm like, just let me do it. It's my money. I ain't affecting y'all. I mean, it's GameStop credit, but I mean, that's not the point. Then she gonna tell me that, yeah, well, if you're buying the games and because I was like, yeah, I mean, if I don't want the game, it's free. Of course, I'm going to take it. I'll probably just, sell it on eBay or something like that. I don't know. She was like, well, you can't use the promotions no more. And I'm like, what you mean I can't use it? She was like, some you can't do the buy 2. This your last time using it because you came in here a lot. And you're not happen to be selling it at other GameStop. Sorry. I'm just like, no, like, why would I do that? Boy, I left that GameStop so quick, drove straight to playing with. I was like, man, take all these games. He's like, wow. He over here telling his boy, like, hey, man, look how much credit this dude getting. I'm like, man, shut up, bro. Just take my games, man, for somebody do something to mess my whole plan up. I don't want these 15 games. I had Plants vs. Zombies, I don't know how many times. Breath of the Wild, you know what I'm saying? I'm just like, dog, just take my games. He's like, yeah, man, it's a lot of money, bro. It's like $700 on that mark, dude. I was just like, let bygones be bygones. So, you know what I'm saying? We was coming up. I went straight to the GameStop and bought up like $500 in Amazon gift cards. But anywho, nah, that's cool. But I was about to say real quick, the other time where it's kind of bad, my dad, he got tired of me and my little brother buying video games. So Pokemon Diamond was coming out. Them games was $34.99 with Michigan sales tax 6%. I needed $37.09 to pay for them games. Man, I wanted to reserve that diamond so bad, dude. I'm like, man, my dad won't take us to GameStop. Man, I thought about riding a bike there. GameStop like 7 miles away from my crib, bro. I'm like, man, maybe I can walk there. And I'm in 7th grade at the time. I'm like, man, my mom would kill me if I disappear for that long walking to GameStop, man. So I was like, my grandma, me and my brother, I ain't gonna say we finessed our grandma because my dad said we can't go no more. So we went to ask my grandma. She took us there. Man, we must have. I'm like, boy, I got my diamond. I had my eyes looking at my receipt, man. I'm like, man, that game paid off and it come out on my birthday. That game came out on April 22nd, 2007, bro. I'm like, let's go. Man, she must have told my dad, bro. As soon as me and my brother got back to the crib, he was like, hey, come here. I'm like, this is a terrible experience, man. He said, y'all told y'all grandma to tell y'all to, y'all told y'all grandma to take y'all to GameStop. We like, yeah, I mean, he said, I told y'all about buying games. Y'all keep wasting y'all money on that. I'm looking like, man, at least I was sick because he got mad at, you disappoint your parents. But I was like, man, at least I got my diamond and it come out on my birthday. I'm finna play that. It come out on my birthday. I can't wait.
Hey man, that's what I'm talking about right there. The boys used to have us. The boys they used to have us at conniptions. We was trying to spend all our little monies.
Man, I'm trying to tell you.
That's worse than it. It ain't as bad as Fortnite V-Bucks because you actually get something worthwhile. But it's definitely the same cadence of that, man. Boys was trying to get to them skins basically.
Man, get them all our money, man. But man, I just got $20 for my birthday, man. I'm finna put this for a diamond, man. I'm finna get this game. Don't let them have a used version or $17.99.
Yeah.
Nah, Pokemon Diamond, boy. I couldn't wait till that came out, boy. I was playing that on the bus.
I was king of the only got 15. Mama the game $17.99. I was the king of that one. I was like, Ma, come on, man, give me a little extra. I need this one. This one's the better game. This the better version. She like, y'all ain't got none used. I'm like, no, they ain't got none used. It just came out. I need this one.
Dog, man, I'm just thinking about that, bro. We could have had a whole episode talking about GameStop experiences, bro.
Yeah, I'm trying to tell you. All
you
of
get
them.
that extra $3 from your mama plus that.
Bro, I'm trying to tell you.
I ain't had tax.
Yeah, I had tax. She like, Deontay, you came up here and you didn't have enough. I was like, Mama, I don't know about taxes.
Man, dog, I used to run that on my family. Tyson, like, man, I got $20, man, but the game $29.99. My Game Boy Advance. I'm like, man, I think my parents can cover the rest of it, man. I'm like, I'm gonna try it. I'm like, man, yeah, Mom, I really want this game, man, but I thought it was $19.99. She be like, man, you know what you're doing, but I'm gonna go ahead and buy it. I'm like, man, I love you, Mom. Bro, I came in there with, I think I had like $30, bro. Pokemon Emerald was $34.99. I'm looking like, I was in Walmart. I'm like, that mug came out in May 2005, dude. I'm like, man, I really want this Emerald, man, but I ain't got enough money for it, dog. I'm like, man, yeah, Mom, they want, man, I guess they want $34.99, man. I only had 30, like they tricked, like I don't know what's going on. Like, man, I got it covered. I'm like, man, I like it. My granddad used to get mad though. He used to be like, man, they got me walking all through the mall to go into GameStop. They used to be called Babbages in the mall, dude.
Oh my God.
Like,
or
man, like,
ours was like Funko Land or Funland.
Funko Land,
yeah,
games, all that. Yeah,
that was what mine was called. They used to give it to us in them sleeves. I was like, y'all ain't got no case for this mug.
Them sleeves, bro.
Give us the sleeves, bro. Not all for all my PlayStation games, bro. I used to be finessing. My mama, it was like I always got my mama because my mama was the sweetheart. She was always giving in. My daddy, no. Regardless of the question it was a hard no. But my mama, I used to be able to convince her or argue her down until she actually give in. But my dad, no. He was like, you wasting your money. And then I was like, no, I'm not. No, I'm not. I swear. And I remember we finally got him to play a game. We got him to play Mario 64. He had injured himself and he couldn't go to work. So he played Mario 64 and he was beating levels. and that we couldn't beat when we was younger, and that's the first time he kind of like started playing games with us. But he never bought anything. He bought us a PC, and he bought us like computer games for like typing, or he always trying to make it fun. But like I'm like, man, I don't want this.
Playing Math Munchers.
I was playing Lion King with the Puma typing. I was like, "Ooh, this kind of nice, Daddy." I was like, "No, man, I need some real games on here."
Nah.
But yeah, it was definitely hard trying to figure out how to play games when you were younger.
And bro, they used to. My bad. This is the last thing I'm gonna say, bro. I was just talking today. I remember I had my Pokemon. Pokemon just filled me with so many memories, dude. Like when I say I love Pokemon, Pokemon filled me with so many memories, bro. I remember one time I was playing my Game Boy Color in the cart. No, it was my Game Boy Advance. I'm playing Sapphire version, bro. I had an Indigo Game Boy before I got stolen. I'm in 4th grade. I'm like, dang, man. So I'm over here trying to really play the game. I'm leaning towards the window because we driving in the car in the back seat. It's dark.
Man.
Every time the street lights cut on, boy, I'm like, I mean, not the street lights cut on when we go past the street light. I'm like, yeah, it's my opportunity to get as much light as I can in a half second to figure out what I need to do. I'm like, dude, that junk used to go so crazy, man. And then they came out with the light, the back.
Yeah, the lit one.
The batteries, boy.
It cut out for a sec, but yeah, I heard you. Man, I'm telling you.
I can hear you. Yeah, Deontay cutting out.
Am I cutting out?
Yeah.
Dang.
I don't know.
All right, I'm gonna leave it at that, man. We gonna have to have like a nostalgic podcast episode coming soon to a podcast near y'all, man.
How about them Game Boy USB lights?
Them USB lights, boy.
I used to have that mug too, man.
Kill that mug in 30 minutes.
Dude, bro. Kill that mug. You be like, man, I just got these batteries.
Oh, don't get me started on the battery hustle. Man. I used to recharge rechargeable batteries. Yeah, like man, he's got little juice in them.
Yeah, don't let somebody in the house have a brand new pack of batteries.
Man, bro, you be taking them off the remote. You be like, man, if I switch these batteries up, I remember they said if you put them in the freezer, they last long. Like,
oh my god, dude!
A bunch of batteries in the freezer.
They be like this. My mom used to be like, why are these batteries in the freezer? Ma, don't worry about that. They charging up. She like, this don't work, Deontay. I like, yes, it does.
Man, it's gonna work, man. I believe it.
That mug give you 10 minutes worth of extra juice.
I'm trying to get through Mount Moon. I just need these to freeze for a little longer.
I'm trying to tell you just a little bit, bro. I'm catching Kyogre tonight, bro. I just need 10 minutes.
It was a bunch of stupid stuff I used to do when I was a kid, but that best of memories, G. Best memories.
Them was some good memories. Me and Jalil had a Glacier Game Boy Advance. I had an Indigo one. Man, when we used to put them rechargeable batteries on there, his might die and stuff. I'm like, dang, he got to the batteries that I was finna use. I used to be sick.
Man. It keep cutting out on me. It's the voice connection error for me. I don't know what's going on with this thing. Uh-oh.
Man, that means we need to stop our talk. We gonna have a podcast about it. Y'all listen up, man. This brings me joy, man. We getting old.
We are very old, but it's definitely the topics that's interesting because that junk is just funny to me how we used to act. But let's move forward. Let's get back to the what century is this? Whatever century this is.
Yeah,
scheduled program.
Monster Hunter next on the list.
Oh yeah, yep.
Yeah, that's pretty much the only game I've been playing recently. I haven't finished everything, but I finished all the every quest that you can take.
Yeah.
So I'm going back through and just trying to get a couple more armor sets and stuff. But you picked it up recently. How you been? I mean, I know y'all play World, so it's not like your very first Monster Hunter, but how you been feeling about this?
Yeah, as you kind of stated, a lot of the stuff is much better, easier to kind of faster, more fast paced. A lot of the cutscenes are not irritating. I don't have to watch through a bunch of stuff. They're not trying to show off the graphics and the capabilities of it. They're just trying to have a good time, and the gameplay is more so the focus than that generational leap and showcasing the monsters and their new engine. I don't. That's not the point in this game. Monster Hunter Rise is all about maximizing fun and minimizing stress. So the lack of the cumbersome, like they didn't broke down the food system. They didn't broke down getting two monsters. They didn't like simplified a lot of the stuff that used to irritate me in the other game. They even simplified on the Switch how you interact with friends, and they got a friend list so you can actually just
Yeah,
pick your
the
friends now.
online is the most surprising thing. Like
Yeah.
it's easy.
It's easy. It feels like it's an actual Xbox or PlayStation game because it's not hard to jump in and just have fun with friends. So a lot of the stuff I'm super surprised by. I can't say that I'm like entirely intrigued to continue to play. I like to play other games right now that's like time consuming like that, but I will play it because we all have it now. And as long as Jalen put in some time and he enjoy it, then that's enough. That's enough for me to actually give it more time than what I gave it already. I think I only gave like 10 hours, so I can put definitely another 30 to 40 hours in before I'm probably going to be over it. But I enjoy it enough to put time into it. That's enough for me. So I will play it if we get to a point where we're all enjoying and we're having fun just killing monsters and getting new stuff and like redoing that on repeat, then I'm totally fine with like giving it a chance. Or continuously playing it again because I'm already playing it. They have these little, I don't know what they call them, but they're to break up the monotony of doing the same thing over and like fighting the monsters over. I mean, obviously they have a bunch of monsters, so it's unique to how you play and how you fight all of them. So that's always going to be different, new flavors. So you're not going to get tired of doing the same thing over and really quickly because you're playing against so many monsters they currently have in the game, and then they're going to be adding more. So it's not like really you're going to get bored of that. I'm talking about more so to break up just going out fighting a monster. They have this new mode where it's like a horde mode, and you're trying to protect gates and stuff like that. So it brings another element of excitement and another way of interacting with a lot of that stuff. So that's fun. That's interesting, and I'm really happy to see that type of stuff that are exploring different ways to engage with the game. That way, more people can like be interested in it and stick around. I don't want to have that normal Monster Hunter experience, and this is a step in the right direction where it gives you something new flavor, but it also keeps that the core fan happy. So I'm looking for more of that. I'm looking for more customization. I'm looking for more uniqueness. I just got the gemstones and stuff like that unlocked, so now I can start buffing things the way I want. Actually, I have to go find this stuff, but there's stuff I'm getting unlocked to kind of customize my character to more so how I want to play. And looking at the new buffs, and like maybe my dodge has a bigger window for stuff. I wish it was like I think it's kind of like a parry in it. I wish it was stuff that you can do like that to kind of parry things, or I know you can stop a roar and stuff like that, but it's nothing really to parry because it's a monster. But maybe having more of
It just depends on your weapon. Not
right.
every weapon has a parry.
So that type of stuff, I guess, is more so what I'm gonna start digging into. The nuance of it, not the
Just 'cause there's
normal
so much
standard
stuff in the
stuff.
game, you probably are gonna have to like start reading and stuff, like jumping on the Reddit or watching
Oh yeah,
YouTube
I'm used to
videos.
that. When I'm interested in something, I usually go look it up. But it's more so the
Longsword, because it has. But I was just saying, I'm glad so far you're having a better experience with Rise.
Mhm.
I think it's a fun game. Like I've always liked Monster Hunter, but I felt like World was a disappointment, and this is just came out the gate. Everything's working well, so that's good. Hopefully the game gets a lot of good support and stuff like that to keep people happy. I'll keep playing it for a while. Um, And I was gonna ask, like, I know Jalen, you haven't really touched it, but I guess what made you, feel like you want to give it a try?
And let's just say not just fun. Um, I don't know. I mean, I think the fact that you said stuff don't take as long was a huge selling point. I guess I was like, I could give it a shot. I mean, I ain't really doing nothing that's on the Switch. It's portable, even though I'm going nowhere. But yeah, I mean, y'all was playing and you seemed like you enjoyed it. I feel like, in all honesty, I feel like you came to play games with me and Deontay that you might not really, really enjoy, because sometimes you get these episodes where you get real quiet and don't say nothing on the game. I'm like, man, Josh ready to cut this off, bro. But I'm like, but he ain't gonna say nothing about it, so we finna keep playing. But
Yeah, I would just tell y'all when I'm sleepy. That's all.
hey, he get quiet, don't he?
He always do that. I'm like, yeah, he not interested. But it's fine. That's how he tell us. He just like,
basically, I'm like, yeah, we need to go ahead and cut this off.
We need to get ready to change the game.
Right. But I think it's like that Friday night when we was playing Apex. But
Man,
because
it
he said
just be when
his ears
I don't
perked
be
up.
feeling like reviving. I'm like, this is a wipe. Go ahead and wipe.
No, I get it, bro. I definitely get it. But shoot, going back to Deontay's question, like the fact that you said it wasn't well, that was one of the reasons, and then you said the missions is like shorter and stuff like that. Because I just had visions of fighting a freaking, what was it, an Anjanath or that purple and pink dinosaur was on Monster Hunter World playing for. I remember I played from like 11 o'clock one day. It's like back in the end of like the beginning of 2018, man, and I ain't had nothing to show for it. I'm like, man, I've been getting whooped for 2 hours and I ain't had nothing to show for it, bro. I went to bed mad. I'm looking like, dog, this is point. I'm not doing this. Like, if I'm not leveling up or, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, I'm not doing this, bro. I'm like, I'm not gonna play this game. So that and the multiplayer was kind of, you had to go talk to the bug, do little fireflies, chase down some footprints and little goofy stuff before you can. Oh, I gotta see this cutscene before you can play at your boys. I'm just like, yeah, I'm not doing that. So I'm hoping that this is a little bit better, and Josh said it's better because he's a Monster Hunter expert and didn't like World. So we gonna see how this playing out. Otherwise, I'm gonna go on a GameStop. I'm gonna send it with Shorty that wasn't trying to let me do the buy two and get one free.
Exactly.
And I gave her a bad review.
I think you said you never saw her again after that.
Yeah, I was like, man, she made me not feel like I was a value customer at GameStop, man. She told me I couldn't do this and that. Terrible person. But I worked with the next dude and he provided the most best experience ever.
Yeah, man, that joke had me crying. Yeah. Hey, but yeah, I think that's kind of the synopsis of it, is that we all kind of, I think right now, I'm having fun with Monster Hunter, and once Jalen kind of gets on a little bit more, I think we'll all have a pretty good decent time, because it's a lot of jumping in and out, and the fights are a lot faster and a lot more interesting, and you're trying to pull off combos. I'm focusing more on positioning and combos than I used to. I used to be focused on just trying to keep up with the monster. So it's a lot less. A lot of the gameplay has shifted. So I am enjoying that portion of it. But yeah, I think that's pretty much all I have for Monster Hunter Rise. Anything else I wanted to kind of say on that?
No, not really. I ain't gonna got much else to say on it. I just made my dude. I named him. I gave him an afro and I put a scar over his eyes and stuff. He gonna be
shut
like
his
the blind
eyes.
swordsman.
Yeah.
My whole gang gonna be blind. Boy, we finna be an eps. I did mess up and forgot to make their eyes clear though. But I mean, it's straight though. Hopefully they don't ever open their eyes and stuff. That'd be weird. But yeah, my people blind, man.
But yeah, I think the last topic we was talking about today was the 4K 60 and the televisions that we kind of, and I like on my channel you'll find a bunch of recommendations for television, but what I really wanted to talk about it was how we're kind of the 4K 60 fight, Last generation was a bunch of 4K. At least that was the priority at the beginning, at the mid generation upgrades. Now we're at the priority being 60 frames per second. So, my question to you guys is, what do you enjoy more? And I think we kind of talked about it already. Mine's has changed. It used to be different, but mine's has changed. And I kind of want to hear you guys' perspective on that and see where you guys kind of come from, or at least what's your thought process when it comes to that type of stuff. Anyway.
Man, this your favorite topic, TVs, man.
Oh yeah,
TVs,
baby.
TVs.
I got
Man,
TVs.
man, before I answer your question, when is you finna get another TV again, bro? Because I'm ready to hear
Prob-
about you selling a TV and buying
Black
another one
Friday.
quick. He
Probably
ain't did
Black
that in a while, have you,
Friday.
Josh?
No, I bought one last November. No. Yeah, I
He be
bought
like, man, I'm
one.
finna sell this TV and then I can sit on this and then sell this and then if I sell it right here, then I can get my money and then I can use this promo and I could potentially pick it up slick deals. But anywho, that's a little bit of background with Deontay TVs and stuff. But anywho, I said that twice. But my thing is with TVs, as long as they're like, my eyes aren't conditioned to see 4K or 1080p or 1080i and all that type of stuff. If it's bad, I can see it. Like when I go home and back to my hometown Kalamazoo, I play on my brother. He got a little 32-inch little TV. That mother probably about 720p. When I'm playing Apex, I'm like, all right, I can still work in that game. You know what I'm saying? Like, but it's like I can't see as well and stuff. Look like I feel as though I can kind of see I ain't gonna say I can see the pixels. It feels a little more grainy or something, and I'm sure that's just a resolution. Like the definition just isn't there.
Yeah.
And it could be because the TV smaller, but I'm pretty sure it's just because the TV. I'm probably more used to the TV I got now. I was able to finesse what I'm looking at when I play Apex and stuff. I got like a 49-inch LG. This TV is probably like 2016 or 17 model. It's a 4K fake HDR, I guess, according to Deontay. But anyways, it looks a lot better. Like, and basically what I'm getting at is I care about the I think I care about the as long as the resolution is at like a decent amount. I really care about like the frame rate and stuff. If anything, I just need it to be like 1080 and I'm good. Like I don't really care about having a 4K, 8K HDR, with all that other type of stuff. I don't even know what other stuff come on the TV. So just give me the frame rate, 60 frames.
Yeah. All right. Before I talk, because I could talk for a minute. Go ahead, Josh. What you got? What's your perspective there?
Mine is fairly similar to Jalen's. I do have a 4K TV. I think I got like a 50-inch 4K TV, but I don't use it as much to play games. Like we watch movies and stuff on it, but I personally prefer to sit at my desk where I got my monitor, just because it's closer, especially for games like Apex. Like it just feels better to be closer, to be able to see things easier. So resolution for me is not that big of a deal, as long as it's not bad. And I've actually started to notice more that it's not just the resolution. Like some games just have, because like with the Avengers game, like when we played it, like the game technically checkerboarded 4K, blah blah blah, but it doesn't look like it, and that's because like they depth of field and their effects are not 4K. They're like 720 or 1080 to, try to keep a stable frame rate. And it's like, you know what, like it's a high resolution, but this game feels blurry and I can't see anything. So I would rather turn the resolution down to not have that effect. Yeah, and so it can hopefully stay as stable. That game, it was still hard to see, but I prefer the 60 mode, whereas I think you said you prefer the 4K mode. But like, yeah, overall, as long as the frame rate is good, I feel like I can get over most issues. But when the resolution, when the frame rate is bad, like it doesn't matter to me that how high the resolution is. I don't want to look at the screen.
True.
Yeah,
I
like to oh my
yeah.
bad.
No,
I
go
was just
ahead.
gonna say like real quick. I remember it was one time, like just to say like more about like the frame rate. It was one time I was playing. I was in my Overwatch phase. I'm kind of falling out of it a little bit, but like I just playing Overwatch probably since probably like at least 8 months. And I think it's probably close to maybe a month ago. I was like, man, I think we was playing Destiny or something. I'm like, man, why this game moving like this, bro? Like this game just moving weird. Like I don't, it's like it's scratchy. Like I don't know if it's like if it am I lagging or something. But I mean, I guess the thing was I was on 60 frames on Overwatch and Destiny was on 30, so it felt weird. So,
Yeah.
and that's from playing Overwatch for a bunch of months and stuff. So when I went to play, and the only other game I play is Apex, and that's at 60, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So I'm like, I don't care about the rest. Just give me like a smooth frame rate because Destiny, the way I described it, looked scratchy. But
Hmm.
I don't know.
You saw how that Apex and on that Switch was.
Boy, that was like,
That was
man,
fatal.
yeah, I was like, ain't no point of playing this. The cursor wasn't even moving smooth. That mo was teleporting. I was just like, wow, okay.
So it definitely plays this role. At first, I was the guy that was like, I'm fine with 30. I don't need more. Wrong. I was fine with 30 frames on story games, but when it came to freaking like games I really enjoyed to play competitively, like Destiny, I hated it with a passion. So that's when I started buying a PC and I started playing Destiny on the PC, and I hated playing Destiny on the PC because I just hate playing with keyboard and mouse. So I always end up playing with controller, but it was just not a fun experience on there because I would literally only play one game on my PC, and that would be Destiny, and I just hated setting it up, making sure my settings were right, and I don't like playing games on my PC, and I don't know why, but I just don't. So I'd rather it be a power horse for my stuff that I'm doing, but really, all my games I want to funnel them through consoles. So that switches me over to televisions, and this is where the obsession comes from when it comes to having the best picture, the best features, quality, and all that type of jazz. So um, when the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series X first came out, obviously everybody was toting around how 120, 120 frames per second wasn't going to be supported that well and wasn't going to be able to do 4K 120. But lo and behold, a lot of games have come out already that's 1080p 120 FPS. So, a lot of great games too, like Destiny 2. So, when I'm playing Destiny 2 on my screen and I'm playing it at 1080p 120 frames per second, it's really hard to play that game again on 60. It's really hard to play that game again on any other frame rate lower than 120. So, as time goes on, my mindset has shifted to not only being 60 FPS but 120, and I definitely feel the difference in smoothness, the ability to transition from weapons and to be able to see all the information coming on screen quickly. All that stuff makes a huge difference. So resolution, in my opinion, does not. I can still see the enemy coming down the screen. It's not as if 1080p upscaling isn't great. If it was problematic and it was like bad and it looked really, really blurry, then I could see that being a problem. But because 1080p has been the standard for high definition for such a long time, and most screens you look at don't even support a higher resolution over 1080p because Apple has made that very perfectly clear. They don't care. So most of the time when people are seeing 1080p and they're seeing this, it's like a higher resolution than they normally see anyway. So the biggest difference to me has always been to bump up the frame rate over certain particular games. Like I don't care if I didn't care if God of War was 30 frames per second, but man, does it play much better when it's 60 now. So all of these games that used to be locked to that 30, I'm having much better experiences. Days Gone, even though that game is still trash to me. It's much better to play because it's at 60 frames per second. Ghost of Tsushima, I really want to go back and replay that game. I don't have the time to, but I would replay that game at 60 FPS because that's how much I enjoyed it. You know, I that has impacted my buying decisions. I wanted to play Sekiro on the 60 FPS. I didn't want to play it on 30, so I bought it on the PC. So all of that stuff kind of plays a toll. So now that we have unlocked that, I don't see myself going back to no 30 FPS games. I don't see myself, settling for that. And if most of the time, if they have a performance and quality, I'm going to play performance because performance usually gives you the better situation. Cyberpunk, because it's such a slow pace, story driven, visually appeasing game, I was able to lower that to the 30 FPS 4K resolution because you just had a better experience on the Series X when it was a higher resolution. You could see more of the city. They spent so much time on it. And for it all to be blurry and not look really well, I just didn't want to do it. I think it was a disservice. So I played it on that. Honestly, I should have waited till the patch came out. I enjoyed it too much to wait, though. But once this patch comes out and they have it updated, I want to see how that game kind of plays. Hopefully we get a 60 FPS locked mode where we have ray tracing enabled, and then we have a mode where it's just performance, and we could see really truly the differences between those two modes and whether or not I want to play one over the other. But like I said, it used to be where I could stand 30 FPS. Now I just can't stand it in general. It's just not a good way to play any type of game. Watch Dogs Legions allowed me to switch it to 60 FPS, and I did. I don't really care about the ray tracing. Assassin's Creed Valhalla allowed me to do that, and I did. Cold War gives you 120 FPS in the 60 FPS mode. I play on 120. Forget the ray tracing. I don't care. So these types of transitions and stuff that showcases that I am more interested in fluidity, which, in my opinion, really shapes the how the games look and how they play versus the resolution. It used to be different. I used to feel differently about that, but I'm slowly but surely I kind of understood it, but I pretended like it didn't matter. When in all reality, it does. It really does. And I think the more and more you guys kind of play with like 120 FPS games and really start to see the benefit of having more frames on the screen and higher refresh rates, you'll really see the difference of why people start playing those games at a higher refresh rate than they do at a lower, because it just makes everything seem more smooth. It makes things seem more clear, better fluidity, and a better experience overall. So I enjoyed it. I think the debate shouldn't even be a debate at this point. If somebody says you want 4K or you want 60, I'm always going to pick the 60 FPS. I am happy that they give you options right now, and it allows you to pick and choose the experience you want to play in. But nine times out of 10, I'm going to pick the higher frame rate, because higher resolution does not change the experience enough for me. And that was pretty much for everything. Like Demon Souls has a mode. As Miles Morales has a mode. I played that in 60. I just think, yeah, man. I think the 60 FPS is the game changer. Now, my question to y'all is, why do y'all think during the upgrade or like the powerful upgrade thing that they focus more on resolution versus the frame rate? Why do y'all think that?
It's just easier to, how to put it, it's difficult for a game to come out and look really good like God of War and be 60 FPS, because it either takes too much time to try to optimize it, or they're going to have to cut out a bunch of graphical features to get there. Like what's that game, the PS4 game, The Order. There's no way that game could have been 60 FPS, and it wasn't even 30 FPS. It was 24 FPS.
4 FPS.
Because for that game to look so good and run on the console, they had to sacrifice those things. So that's all it is. Like, if the game is not pushing graphical boundaries, then it's much easier to reach 60 FPS. But it's more likely it's going to look like a current gen game, like Assassin's Creed Valhalla. Like it looks good. I think they have really good HDR
Hmm.
implementation because they can run on both. So once they start to really push it, you might start to see, God of War might be 4K 30. And if they do have a 60 FPS mode, it depends on what type of sacrifice they're willing to make for the game. It
Yeah.
might be 1080 or something like that. Uh,
Hopefully, with these fire SSDs, they can do some like um, optimization that really allows it to stream in that stuff very quickly, so that they can have limited resources but which are much more powerful, you know, experience. You know what I'm saying? Like they can really use the resource that they have because they was the king at checkerboarding then. And I imagine
mhm.
now with the more powerful tools that they have and checkerboarding, what they can do. I don't think I don't think they even gonna stop at 4K. I think they're gonna start trying to hit 8K 60. I think 4K 60 will be a breeze once they start to optimize it properly. Because right now, even with the a little optimization that they have, 4K 60 is no problem. I
Mhm.
think 4K 120 might be the big deal. I think Spider-Man Morales, like they just released a new patch for that where they kind of combined ray tracing with the 60 FPS mode. So like
Mhm.
they're already figuring out ways to optimize stuff better, and it ain't been that long. And that game came out when it launched, and they kind of recently they did that in January where they released that patch
Mhm.
where it kind of combined ray tracing in the performance mode. So now you can have ray tracing on while still playing at 60 FPS. So I think it's going to get better and better and better, just like how Horizon, Last of Us, and all those games started getting better and better by over time. I think it's going to be superseded with the type of engine and the type of SSDs that they have in the consoles, so they can take advantage of a lot of that stuff. So um, I'm very optimistic. I think Sony, if anybody, Sony gonna do it first. I'm not sure what's going on with the Xbox engines and all that stuff and the developers. It seems like every time something comes out from Digital Foundry, the PlayStation is outdoing it. So I don't know how that's possible. If it's reading on paper, it's supposed to be the better, more powerful. It might have to do something with some of the legacy type software and development, that they're doing.
People
But
claim it's because they've had the PlayStation's hardware longer, but who knows?
yeah,
Because they were saying Microsoft had rushed their like development kits and all that. So I don't know.
yeah. I mean,
Overall, like yeah, um, hopefully, I think the best thing about the generation is that they give options, so you can choose between your performance mode and things like that. As long as they have the options, then I think everybody will be
be
happy.
happy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Whether you want the higher fidelity or you want to be able to play unlocked with a higher frame rate, I think we all have something there. Uh, Demon Souls looks great at 60. It looks great at 30, but I just prefer to play it at 60. So it's up to the people to decide that, and I'm really liking that optimization, technique of having two modes. Yes, it's more work for the developer, but I think that in the long run, it's more beneficial. Um, and yeah, I'm just looking forward to the new games play. I'm looking forward to new stuff, more exciting stuff. I'm looking forward to, um, yeah, man. I'm looking forward to Deathloop. I'm looking forward to stuff that looks really cool. So here's to And you seen Resident Evil, they have ray tracing that's going to be running at 45 frames per second, obviously 1440p 60. Um, and that's a game that's also coming to the previous consoles. So we'll see how it runs and how it really plays. At least they've given us demos, so at least. Man, can we just take a second to praise why the RE engine, like That thing is really phenomenal. Like, they did a good job. I don't know what Capcom did, but they did a really good job with their engine. And they're educated, smart people, and they have the ability to make, like, they're able to run that game at 4K 30 on the old previous generation, and at I think they have a 60 FPS mode as well. But yeah, man, I just really enjoy the RE engine. RE engine is very versatile and it's smart.
That's the best part of Rise is that
Yeah.
they're able to run it and it's not bad
Yeah,
on the Switch.
yeah, like they really did a good job. I didn't expect that. I mean, I did because I used to play Resident Evil's, Resident Evil 2, the remake and everything, and looked it really good on my hardware on my PC as well as on my Xbox and stuff, and it was just like, man, they did a good job on this. They did Resident Evil 3 I skipped because it just wasn't as good as 2, and a lot of reviews just kind of stirred me away from it. I might go back and play it one day, but not right now. I'm just looking forward to Village. But yeah, man, I think that engine is cold though. That's a nice engine. I'm looking forward to some stuff. I know Village demo was already looking really good the first time I played it around, and this is another one they kind of give us more time with it. So I'm going to play that soon. We're going to talk about that. But I don't know. I think that's pretty much it that I have that's like new that's coming out that I know is going to look really good. I haven't seen anything else that I thought was like it's going to blow us away because they haven't really announced or shown anything. I think the next thing, the big thing that come out of Xbox is going to be Halo and then Starfield. The ones that's going to really like, dang, that don't look good. But knowing Bethesda, that Starfield might just look like Fallout in the sky. I would hope not, but that's what it seemed like that's going to happen. It's going to be Fallout in the sky. But hopefully it's fun, It's coming to Game Pass. I got Game Pass till 2023, so hopefully they come out with some good stuff by then. And if it's really good, I plan on renewing it, of course. But they gave me a stupid dumb steal with that one. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this podcast. I ain't really got much else to talk about. Is there anything else? Any last remarks? Anything that you guys kind of want to say?
I ain't really got nothing.
Yeah. I guess next time we got a podcast, I think the next Apex update gonna be coming out soon, so we'll be talking about that.
Oh, yeah.
It's a pretty slow couple months until, they're supposed to have a E3 this year, so I guess we'll learn more about upcoming stuff, but it'll be pretty slow.
They tried to make people pay their fare. They said, "Nah, man, we gotta stop that." Mm-hmm. I didn't think that was gonna go over well. I was like, first off, we used to be able to watch it for free, and now you're trying to make us pay for like I could see additional experiences, but don't make us pay for the whole thing. But we'll keep you guys posted on what we enjoy to talk about. But thank you guys for listening as always. Again, you can find this podcast on YouTube. You can find it on Apple Podcasts. You can find it on Spotify Podcasts, Google Podcasts. You can find it on Pandora. Anywhere you listen to podcasts, you'll be able to find the House of Wolves podcast. Thank you guys for listening.
Basically, y'all ain't got a reason to not listen.
I said thank you guys for listening. Thank you guys for listening. And we will talk to you guys in the next 2 weeks. Peace.